Have you ever wanted to add a co-host or a guest to your podcast? It's a great question. Let's find out.
Hey, ho. This is my show. When it comes to doing a podcast and you want to have a co-host
Or a guest.
it takes three things: chemistry, comfort, and concept.
Chemistry.
Those are pivotal to trying to have a co-host or a guest for your podcast or your YouTube channel. With chemistry, you got to make sure that you actually like the person that you're shooting a YouTube channel or podcast with.
Chemistry is important because you do not want a podcast or a YouTube channel where you're constantly arguing with your co-host.
Unless that's the point.
Unless that's the point.
You also have to be able to carry
A conversation,
with your co-host.
it gotta flow
Flow.
like a river. Insert water. No one wants a forced conversation.
Another aspect of having chemistry is you...
Laughter!
Absolutely.
You gotta be able to laugh with each other and not necessarily at each other.
Agreed. Another great point of chemistry when building a YouTube or podcast with your co-host or guest is making sure that you have similar mindsets. But I will say, opposing mindsets are not a bad thing because then you can have different perspectives on different topics.
It is important to respectfully disagree if you do not always agree.
Unless you want to turn up on... Another aspect of having good chemistry with a co-host or a guest is trying to find like-minded individuals. However, I do understand that you can have different mindsets that will give you different perspectives on certain topics.
It is important to always respectfully disagree with your co-host or guest.
The next thing is comfort. I think that being comfortable with the person that you are hosting a podcast or YouTube channel with is very important.
You have to be able to be your full self and not worry about if the person beside you or your co-host is going to judge you.
And be comfortable enough to laugh at yourself and laugh at your co-host.
You laughing at me? Comfort also makes your podcast or YouTube channel more authentic.
It really does. That way you can authentically be yourself. You can truly answer the topics or the questions that come along with that particular episode or the podcast or YouTube channel as a whole.
Always be yourself.
Be yourself.
Be yourself.
And the third thing, content. And when I say content, that's not what I was talking about in previous episodes. Content as far as being knowledgeable. Because you don't really want to pull things out of a hat or talk out of your ass, because other people that watch your channel or listen to your podcast will definitely come for you.
It is also important that at least one of the people sitting in the chairs has the knowledge on the topic that you guys are talking about.
They got to know what they're doing.
Somebody has to. You also want your content to be interesting. You do not want to bore your co-host or your guest that you have that comes onto your podcast or YouTube channel.
Yes, make sure you have great talking points that your guest can relate to or has some type of understanding, or at least your co-host is well versed in what the content is.
You have to give them something to feed off of. Make it make sense.
I got to understand. No, all jokes aside, what you talk about with your co-host or your guest, they do have to understand it. A lot of times people will have a podcast or a YouTube channel and they will invite guests on that are subject matter experts. So I think making sure that that person that's sitting in the chair beside you knows something.
Oh no.
Well, that's all we got for you today. And don't forget to check out Painted with Good Intentions coming back this summer, 2024.
I'm back.
This is Stream with Sign Language. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Peace.
Actually, you said I got you. I can't remember what she was saying. The comprehension of kibosh.
Compatibility with the concept.
When it comes to... See what I do? I just cut it up in pieces. Comfort.
Chemistry.
Chemistry. That's what the other C is.
Alright, I got it.
From the top.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.